Guten Morg, Boker Tov. It's winter outside, which means it's been more than a month since we've done this monthly update, so I apologize for that. I work with a beautiful human being named Joylene out of Zimbabwe, who I met on a cold email of all places. And Joylene does not live in our world. She lives in a world where sometimes the power lines get stolen for scrap metal. It's a reminder, certainly, of our champagne problems versus real problems. And so it took a little longer, but I'm glad to be doing it with her. So thank you, Joylene, for being on the other end of this edit. And with that, let's jump into the 3 Ps of personal, professional, and political. We're going to start with the personal. We're going to start with my grandmother, affectionately known as Miss Pearl. It's been over a year since her passing. I got to go to the dedication with my family in Chicago. And I just miss her. I do. Her and my grandfather Arthur really gave me everything I love in this life. From this town, Aspen, Colorado, to the love of travel, international, crazy outdoors adventures, skiing, biking, food, and now meditation and wellness, something that they had been doing since the 50s. So thank you guys for giving me everything that matters to me. And I feel a deep sense of responsibility to do you proud, do this community proud. So, yeah. Other big personal, Burning Man. Oh, I just love it out there so much. If you don't know what Burning Man is, that's fine. A lot of people have a lot of projections about what it is and what it isn't. But in my mind, Burning Man is what happens when you completely eliminate money and any sort of status from society and allow the human spirit to truly flourish. It is a celebration of life, of light, of art, of freedom, of connection, and it does refill the heart and spirit. This one was special for me. I got to spend it with my partner and my bestie, who finally made it out, and I finally found my tribe out there. We stayed with the Dr. Bronner's / MAPS Multi-Association Association of Psychedelic Studies, the group that's bringing us all of these therapies to heal our mental health crisis since '86, when I was born. We call it the Love Camp. Everyone is just so beautifully open and supportive. Everyone we met was doing incredible things in this world. Our next door neighbor, his nonprofit's credited with saving 80,000 lives, but no ego. And that's really how I seek and do not always succeed to show up. But it was beautiful to be held in that space. We volunteered for Zendo, which is the harm reduction arm of MAPS, and we were trained in how to be sitters for people having challenging psychedelic or otherwise experiences. Actually, none of our people were on anything. It's a methodology that recognizes that the person in front of you has everything they need to heal inside of them already. What you provide is a safe space. You do as little as possible, and you allow that challenge to become the breakthrough. I think there's so much wisdom in that. I also got to tour Burning Man with the chief of staff and the head of government relations through a good friend, emerging good friend, Randy Heckman, who moved here, former comms director for MAPS during COVID, and got to see how you build a city of 80,000 people basically overnight. I actually wrote a report of the learnings for our city council. I don't know if anyone has read it. They certainly haven't acknowledged it, but they did ask for it, and I appreciate that. But there's something remarkable about a governance that relies on the creativity and co-emergence and creation of its people, that does as little as possible and allows for the community to have agency in the process. And in that creates a true bond, a connection, and a sense of empowerment that I want to start working into our policy here. Less doing for you or to you, but rather with you and through you. And yes, I know that I tend to be the most progressive on our council and often have a strong vision of where we should go. But I want to try to share that vision, but allow the actual work to come through us more and more. And I'm starting to do that, which is a beautiful bridge to the political. So we'll jump in on that. There has just been so much happening recently, and I know it can be tough to see that, because the truth is, when we do something, what we actually mean is we've decided to do it. Then it takes the doing, and then it takes the feeling and experiencing, and so generally there's a 5-year lag between when we do something and it's actually felt in the community. But our council has really gelled. Our city manager is doing a great job, and we feel full steam ahead. So even if you don't feel it yet, know that that work is doing. And a great example of that is housing. APCHA has adopted its 2023 work plan. And in that are the structural deficits that we have avoided so long as a community. Right sizing. We're actually doing a pilot. We're creating a swap board so we can get that almighty net bedroom gain, reduce those 400 or so unused units and make them used, get the most out of our actual stock. We have in there working on capital reserves and deferred maintenance. So we have our Standards for Sellers program, and we're starting to move to an in-house program to address that inequity of, I bought a house for $200,000, but my maintenance costs the same as someone who bought it for $20 million. And so how do I keep my home up even if I want to? Well, let's have an in-house team that has enough work that we can reduce those rates and allow people to upgrade and keep their units as they want to at an affordable rate. So these are structural deficits that have been long overlooked that we are taking on at APCHA. We're also taking them on at City Council. Burlingame 3 will be coming online this year, 79 new units, and we have a pilot right-sizing program there too, where for a number of units, we are going to allow those who are moving down in size to meet their current needs to jump to the head of the lottery and free up those rooms for somebody else. So I'm really excited about that. We've also started to partner with the development community, specifically in this case, Mark Hunt. Yes, we can partner and work together collectively with Mark and others. And in this case, a naturally occurring affordable housing at 1235 East Cooper on the way out of town, which was one of those that would probably stop being affordable housing, is actually being saved. And we're converting 8 free market units to affordable units in that partnership. There are a number of other of those partnerships on the way. And internally in the city, we've bought 4 bedrooms, 2 units outside the urban growth boundary, which means more unit per dollar for you, the taxpayer, although in this case it's an internal program. And there's a lot more coming on partnerships, potentially hundreds of units with other government agencies, for-profit companies, the development community. I'm really excited that we are finally engaging collectively now that we have the land use tools that came through the moratorium to make that possible. We have also moved through our solid waste diversion program. It's a key part of us becoming a net zero waste community. The most important thing we can do if we want to lead on climate change. And lastly, we hosted the UN Climate Summit, the biggest climate summit in the world for the UN. We had 94 countries here. We are still leading on this issue. And yeah, we need to do more. So with that, I will jump over to the professional. I really feel that I am approaching the singularity, if you will. I can see all of these seemingly disparate and divergent events and experiences in my life coming into focus into one project. A friend of mine recently said that the best lived life is one where your passion, purpose, and profit overlap, and I'm getting close. Many of you know about the Elected Leaders Collective. We are bringing tools of mental health and well-being into the political space, resourcing those who want to serve us, be they teachers, first responders, elected officials, staffers, administrators, or otherwise, with the tools of holistic wellness that they need to thrive, survive, and deliver for you. We presented at Mountain Towns 2030, a 9-minute main stage, and the response was just tremendous. We did sessions the entire time with individuals, elected officials, staffers. It got real quickly, and we got asked by mayors, city managers, county managers to start doing retreats, trainings for new elected officials and existing elected officials. We're in the process of putting together those in the next couple months for regional organizations, regional cities, others in the broader mountain community, and even some international, which is really, really exciting. We've also launched the cohort as our signature program for both staff and administrators, and then another one for elected officials. You can go sign up on the link down below right here. If you want to get in touch with us for these retreats or trainings, this is a link. Jolene put the link here. We also have some upcoming collabs with other organizations. I'm going to be at the National League of Cities doing some work there. We're working with Soltara, a number of others upcoming, but you have a good day to get back to. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to getting back on a more regularized schedule. And if you haven't done so yet, and if this video posted on time, get out there and vote. All right. Bye for now.